How big can I get my heart to be?
Thought Media Network proudly presents
How much love can I get flowing out of me?
The Real Talk Sisters. Deep, unfiltered, soulful conversations with Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley, Reverend Kim Andrews, and Reverend Melinda Wood Allen.
How big can I get my heart to be?
Join us for Real Talk on Real Issues. Tuesdays, 2 p.m. Central, 1 o'clock Mountain. And now, let's join the Real Talk Sisters.
How big can I get my heart to be?
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How are you? I'm Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley from Harmony Spiritual Center in Fort Worth.
And I am Reverend Melinda Wood Allen from the Church of One Love in Dallas, Texas.
And I'm Reverend Kim Andrews from Unity Spiritual Center in Saxe, Texas.
Yay. Welcome to the show.
How's everybody doing today?
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I missed you guys last week.
Yeah, we missed you too.
Yes. Yep, it is what it is. I was trying to do my civic duty and work the polls, and I've done that for, I think, a lifetime. So I'm good. No need to do that again. I'm good.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
All civic out. but it was good. It was interesting and a lot of work. But yeah, I'm glad I was there. I'm sorry I missed you. I really did miss being here. So I know that you had a great show without me, but I know you had a great show.
We missed you, but we did.
Of course you did.
How are you, Melinda?
I'm okay. I am after my week of rest a couple of weeks ago, I finally feel a tiny bit more rested. Had a really good Sunday and a really good day yesterday. So I'm feeling energized and ready to go here. Yeah.
Good.
How about you?
Change.
I am hanging in there, and maybe better than hanging in there. I mean, you know, when life gets crazy, I just decided I didn't want to be crazy with it anymore, with the schedule and the list of things to do. And I finally learned to delegate more and to let go of some things and not be so adamant about certain things getting done at certain times. I don't justify anymore or apologize. Gee, couldn't get it done on this date, so here it is. You know, if it's not life or death, and most things are not life and death.
Most things are not.
99.9% of them are not. At least on my list of things to do, they're not. So yeah, I've let that go. And you know, if somebody has a question about how something's getting done, ask it. That's okay.
Yeah.
And because I have to weave more life into my life, and it's not all about the work. And so now I'm catching myself when I am not the priority of the day. Yeah. Yes, I have to get things done. Yes, I have work to do, but I have to be first priority. And sometimes I still don't do that, but I'm catching it now. And I'm saying, yesterday was not one of my best days as far as taking care of me first.
Yeah. It's so interesting how we forgive other people. Like, it doesn't matter. Somebody's coming in late with something or they can't quite make it. It's like, oh, yeah, no problem. Mm-hmm. But we don't do the same thing for ourselves. So I really congratulate you for even thinking that out loud and putting that into action. I'm just giving ourselves some grace. You know, hey, I'm doing the best I can with what I have, and it's going to get there or it's not going to get there. Either way, it's not a life or death situation.
I always tell my people, if no one's being born or dying, then whatever it is, if it doesn't work out, we can do something different later. Exactly. Nothing's permanent. It's like nothing's permanent. If we don't like how it turned out, we'll do it differently. It's not.
Absolutely.
I will say, though, that the day that I stopped, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but when I'm judging myself at a really high level, I tend to judge others at a really high level. If I'm judging others like they're not doing that right, then I feel like I have to hold to that standard because I criticized them about what they were doing. So I better do it right. And so it involves a whole relaxing of the way I view myself in the world and productivity in general, and people, that really is not life or death.
It just really isn't. And part of the thing, and this is, I've always been this way. But people can say, well, you're just lazy, you don't want to get it, you don't want to do it. It's not that. And maybe a part of it is. It doesn't matter. Don't care what you call it. But the thing is that I really feel like we're creative. Like there's a million ways to skin a cat. There's a million ways to peel an orange, whatever it is. So my way, as long as it gets done, what difference does it make how it gets done? Really, what difference does it make who does it? If someone, and I think that we all get to use our gifts in that way, and we get to see other people's gifts. I've seen so many great things from people. Oh, I didn't think to do it that way. That's amazing. That's a wonderful way to think about it. A wonderful way to do it. So it's really, a part of the spiritual track for me is to allow just to turn things over. If someone says they have interest in something, to turn it over and say, okay, well, let's move forward with that. Let's see what happens.
You are a lot less controlling in personality, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Than I naturally am. So
well,
I think really a long time to learn that.
Yeah.
It's okay. If it doesn't get done to my standard or the way I would do it, it's okay. It's okay. It's taken me a while.
Part of it is that I always had a net. I always said my mom and dad were actually nets for me, for my sisters and brothers, and in the military we had a family around us. We just always had a net, and I feel, having just talked with you, I don't think I'm sharing any dark secrets or anything. That you were the net for yourself and for your family. So there's a difference in the way that your reality was and my reality was. So I get to be more relaxed than you tended to have the ability to do because of your circumstances. Yeah. So there's natural things, and there's just what we know to be true from the way we were brought up.
That ought to be a show topic one time. The net.
The net. Oh, I like it.
What is your net? We all need a net. So what is your net?
I'm going to write that down because we're definitely going to do that one.
Yeah, I'm going to let y'all write it down because you'll probably write it better than me, and I'm just going to take a break while y'all write that down.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day. Maybe my daughter. I was talking to my daughter because she's trying to do a business. And the moment you try to do something, all kind of negative paradigms show up, and you can't do it, and you're da. And I said, you have to have other dreamers around you, other people that can see possibilities and see possibilities in you. And I have that. I have that with. And I said that I have it with Kim, and with Melinda. They're my star catchers, and so I can share something, even if they think it's a stupid idea or a wild idea. They don't share that. That's definitely
actually what you were gone last week. We shared it with each other in the whole
But you guys are my net. Hopefully I'm net for you. But everybody has to have a group or whatever that is their net.
Believe for you.
Yeah. Yes.
Believe with you, and that when you start to fall, believe for you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So our topic today is we're kind of continuing on. Last week we Kim and I were talking about change, navigating change, and how difficult it is, and that was the Buddha's whole all of life suffering is caused by us trying to hold on to that which changes. And so this week we wanted to continue because we kind of focused on what are the negative changes that we don't like happening. But this week we were talking about what about the changes that you do want? They're still hard. They can still be hard. So when your prayers are answered, that careful what you pray for kind of thing. So Anybody have a good change they want to share about?
Well, I was just sharing that. I see you nodding your head. So I wasn't talking a little bit. So I'm going to let you go ahead and talk, Kim, and I'll come back to it. It's not going to go anywhere for me if you have something you want to share.
So probably the first thing that came to mind for me was stepping into ministry. And saying yes to that, because when I did say yes to it, I didn't really know what it meant beyond offering Sunday messages, working with a board, taking care of the operations, the logistics of an organization. And then there's the people work, which includes working with your board, because in my organization, so I am hired and fired by the board, but I also manage them. I am like the CEO of the organization. And
Right.
so that can get dicey
Yeah.
sometimes. And then there's just working with people in general. And, we show up at our spiritual centers, we show up at church needy, wanting to heal, looking for comfort, sustenance, life affirmation, looking for many things. And sometimes we're looking for things that probably aren't part of the church's work.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because we just show up
Yeah.
as ourselves. And as ministers, we get to navigate that.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that. And also, I didn't want children of my own. I do not have children of my own, but I have stepchildren.
Right.
I'm also mothering my niece. My sister is deceased, and I am now mother to my niece. And there are times when I think, oh, this is why I didn't want to have any.
Oh, I remember now.
Oh, this is why I remember now. Not that I don't step into that role when I need to,
Of course.
but some days I think, man, this is wow. Okay, so yeah, now this. Okay, I need to tune into divine wisdom, divine motherhood, divine something to deal with this. And I know now that a lot of it is just showing up and being there, being available,
Yes.
being myself and welcoming them in, holding space for them. And
Yes.
sometimes it's, the tough love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's saying the hard things. Sometimes it's telling the truth, even though they may not be ready to receive it, or want to receive it, or interested in receiving from us.
Right. Right.
So yeah, probably with motherhood, I thought I wasn't born with that gene. I think mine just looks differently. I was in a different line. I was in the line, how to pick pretty shoes, when I was in the motherhood line, when Jesus was giving out gifts. I was in the pretty shoes line. Not into how to add to young people's lives. I wasn't in that line.
Yeah.
But I have figured it out some.
It
Well,
is
that's
quite something.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying it's quite something. Yeah.
one of the ultimate changes that people ask for. I mean, sometimes you have a child without planning for it, but very, very often people are having children because they want to have children, and it's one of the hugest life changes that there can possibly be. Your life is there is before and after. It's completely different from that day on. And I wanted children. I went into it with a lot of awareness. I'd taken a lot of classes in parenting and child rearing and early childhood, and I'd spent a lot of time. I was a nurturer of children pretty much my whole life, and I kind of thought that it was like a job, like a really intense job until they're like 18, and then your work is pretty much done.
Yeah, they're out. They're out. Bye bye. I've done my job. Get done. You're an adult now. Move along.
So huge changes then, and then you realize, oh, the changes just keep going. It's a different challenge. Every stage and every step is a different challenge, and we remind ourselves, well, look at me, I welcome that in. That's what I wanted, and here it is. Showed up. Here it is. So here's what do I do with it? Yeah.
So maybe that's one of the first things with answered prayer, is that we really don't know what we've asked for.
We do not.
So we go in kind of blind, saying, I think I want this. And then it comes and we go, oh, is this what this looks like? I was watching, is it Evan Almighty, the movie?
Yeah, that's one part.
And
Evan Almighty.
God, who's played by Morgan Freeman, was talking to Evan.
A great God, yeah.
I think he's talking to Evan, saying, do you think when we pray for patience that God just gives us patience, or does he give us opportunities where patience is required?
Experience, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I love that. That's and all those things. He's exactly right.
All of examples like that. And so, sometimes we are praying for things and we don't really know what we have asked for. until it presents itself. And then we have to dig a little deeper. And that's why for me, it's helpful to know, and that's one of my core beliefs, that I do have everything I need to handle what's before me. I just may not know what that looks like in the situation in the beginning. And then I just got to do the deep dive and pull it from someplace else than I have been pulling life previously.
Yeah. And this is part of the faith walk. To me, just knowing and believing, it's not believing, it's knowing for me that spirit is there. And whatever I've asked for, whatever others that I care for, you guys, my family, whatever others, God is there for them as well. So just trying to remember, as people have asked for prayer and they're coming crying, oh my God, this prayer is being answered. And, to be able to hold the light for them and to say, this is what it looks like when what answered prayer looks like, and what you're doing. You're stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something. If you already knew how to do it, you would have been asking prayer for it. If it was already there, you would have been. So clearly, it's going to have to bring you something you don't know about, which is always scary. Like, can I do this? Of course you can do it, because spirit, you ask spirit, and spirit isn't going to take you someplace and then drop you off. That's not how it works. Not gonna, here you go, that's as far as I can take you. You're on your own. That's never going to happen. So part of the prayer experience for me with answered prayer is, remember, yes, I did ask for this. No, I don't know what to do. Yes, I have to trust what I'm hearing, the intuitive voice that I've practiced and worked with. I didn't just start trying it the moment I asked for something. I've been doing it, pretty much for my whole life. And so relying on that voice, that intuitive voice, to tell me and to guide me and to say, yes, this is the right way. Keep going. You're going to push through, whatever that may be. And so having done that for myself, I can hold that space for others as well. So it's a beautiful process. And I love this spiritual walk. I really do. And we cloud and we joke, because we're ministers and we've gone through a lot of things. But in the end, it's a beautiful spiritual walk. And I confidently expect to be shown the way. And I confidently expect others to be shown the way. I really do. I think it's aggravating for people when you say that. No, God's got you. Shut up.
You've got everything in you need.
You have everything you need. I don't got it.
No. Give it to me.
No, I don't. What do you know that I don't know?
In 12-step, they say God doesn't have grandchildren.
Okay.
Right?
Right. Go straight
to it. To come through you to help somebody else. No, they got their own. They got their own.
Correct.
Their own source, their own connection, their own divinity, their own everything. Yeah.
Correct. So the truth is, we're really just reminding them of what they already know. Yeah. That's really what we get to do. Huh?
Always.
Yeah, always. It was just it's never that we're telling you anything you don't really know. You just forgot.
Eric Butterworth says, I think it's in Discover the Power Within You. He says, if you hear anything that I say, if you learn anything from me, you didn't learn it from me. You recognized it in yourself.
You already knew it.
That's all I can do is point you to something that you're recognizing within yourself. Exactly. And it's so true. It's so true. And a really important thing to remember as a teacher. That's all we can do. You can't give somebody.
And that's enough. And that's all we need to do.
That's enough. And then you let it go. Because they got their own God.
Exactly. And if we as spiritual leaders, if we remember, know, I was saying believe, but if we remember and know that, then the work ends up being easy, because we just count on them and encourage them. You already know. What is it? You already know. Tell me what you know.
Yeah.
Just say it like that. I mean, just however you say it, but I mean, say it with such conviction that they're convicted as well. Yeah.
That's a good place for us to take a short break and be back to talk about this some more.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. See you soon.
prayer back.
All right.
So when you were talking about that it's always good, anything you pray for, anything that comes into your life, it's the best thing in the world, it's still something new. And I think one of the things that we do is we forget to have beginner's mind. We try to take the map that we formed when we were living in a different territory and apply it to this new territory and wonder why it's not working, you know?
Correct. Correct.
I tell people when it's like, you know, those maps in the mall that say you are here. So, you know, the Dillards, you go forward and then you turn right and then you turn left. Imagine that you're starting, you're wrong about the you are here. You can take those turns all day long and you're not going to get to Dillard's. You have to know where you are starting from. And if you're starting from zero, you have to start from zero. You can't start from expert mind.
Exactly correct.
Because
Exactly.
you don't know nothing yet.
Exactly. And that's just it's so crazy that we're asking for something that we don't have, which means we don't know how to do it, or we don't know about it because we would have it already. And then we want to say that it should go this way.
Right.
With the stuff that we already know, which
This
again,
isn't how I ordered it from the menu, God.
no.
Okay.
No. It usually comes with, doesn't it have, aren't we supposed to go down that? No.
I don't believe I asked for those sides.
So,
I didn't know this was
yeah.
going to come with a side of terror and a you know.
It is. So one of the questions I think, and it's always about, for me, in order to open my mind and to move forward with the prayer that I ask for, is to continue to ask questions of spirit, like, okay, well, what's this? Where am I going? What's next? What is mine to do? All these questions, because if I think I know and I start heading, I don't know. But opening myself up by asking those open questions, it opens my mind to hear, well, where am I going? And then trust that that's the case. So it's a conversation. After the prayer, there's a conversation. There's a continuing conversation. I think for me, I pray it's coming, and because it doesn't it's not a magic wand. It doesn't, oh, you want a car? Boom, it's in the garage. It's not that. So what's the continuing conversation, and what's to do to get that into your garage or wherever you're trying to get it to, wherever you're trying to go? So there's a constant conversation. There's constant movement of what is mine to do next. And sometimes I'll say, what is mine to do? And Spirit said, no, you've done that part. I've got to do something else. And then I'll let you know what your next part is. Okay, great.
That was
It's a dance. It really is. But that's how it works for me. Does it work? I mean, does it work that way for you guys, or?
Absolutely. You know, when I graduated from seminary without a job, and then was offered a job a week later, and then that job was temporary. It only lasted a year. And then for the next 2 years, it was like I would go. So I think, obviously, this is where I'm supposed to be.
This is it.
Nope. Okay, then it's this. Nope. And during that time, my prayer was this: if this is supposed to be mine, let me have it. If it's not, I'll wait for the one that's mine.
Exactly.
My affirmation was that either I'm being readied for it. It's either I'm not ready for it and God is working on me, or it's not ready for me and God is working on it. And when the time is right, then it'll happen. And I have found that to be true. That was a really huge and obvious thing when I got to the ministry that I'm presently in, that it's like, oh, I get it. This is exactly. And if I'd gotten it 2 years ago, it was not the time. They weren't ready. Right. They had to go through some transitions to be ready for a new minister. So that's really obvious, but I think that happens so much of the time. We want a timetable.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And we know that there is no time in spirit. It's all happening right now. As far as spirit is concerned, it's the physical manifestation on this plane that we think there's time involved. It's already done. We just don't see exactly what it looks like. And like, what?
And that was like the knowing. It's like there is a place for me. I know it. My guidance kept being, yes, you are supposed to be a congregational minister. Yes, this is mine to do. So if I don't have a place to do it yet, it's just a matter of time and manifestation.
It's coming.
If it's a matter of
It's
when.
not it. Exactly. And so again, it goes back to just that relationship that you have with spirit, of knowing that when you that intuitive voice that says, yes, this is yours, and then hold to that, and wait until it shows up in this physical plane, because it's absolutely yours. And I remember when I was getting ready to, when I was I had no intention of ever becoming a minister. That was not my intention at all. I just wanted to know the information. I love new thoughts so much, and I just kept wanting to study. And every time there was anything to study, I was there. And I just ended up having all these classes that I just had a ministerial license just because of all the things I'd done. But when my friends called and said, "Hey, we need to step down, and we'd like for you to come be the minister," and I asked, I don't know. I didn't say I don't know about that, but I spoke with spirit and I said, because I never saw myself as a minister, and I asked, "Am I a minister?" And spirit said, "You absolutely are. You've been a minister your whole life. You've been ministering to people, but now it's time for you to minister to this group." If it, and didn't even say it was that group that was talking to me. They said if they agree, and I okay. Well, then it either's going to happen or it ain't going to happen. If it does, I'm ready. If it doesn't, I'm ready too. Either way. So he gave space for both sides to decide where they wanted to be. It was really an amazing thing. It really was an amazing thing, and I was very calm about it. Very calm, because I'd already spoken to spirit. Already told me what I could do, and what was mine to do, and what wasn't mine to do. Mine was to make my decision. It wasn't to make theirs. It's to make mine. All right, I made mine. All right, good.
So I think that might be a good thing to realize, that as our prayers are answered, there may be someone else's prayers who are being answered at the same time, and that there is this synergy happening in the universe, and we are all a part of some creative process through the answer of a prayer. And
Absolutely.
so yes, that one prayer might actually be there might have been 50 prayers. Everybody who's ever walk through your ministry or come out of it. People who are whose lives they affect, that ripple effect, because we never know what the ripple effect is from any single thing that we do. And I think it's always exponentially more than what we think it is. We have a habit of thinking that things are isolated, and I don't know that
linear.
Isolated.
Yeah, it's not isolated, nor is it linear.
Yes, nor is it linear. Yes,
it's not linear either. No.
Yeah,
it's just going in so many places, because back to the thing we say we know for sure, we're all connected. And time and space doesn't change that. So we're connected to people who knows who's feeling that and being guided to come this way or whatever, or meet that way, however it goes. So we just leave our minds open to that, to the fact that answered prayer is exactly what you asked for, just not what you thought it was going to look like. That's the thing. Is we have this whole idea.
And good changes happen that aren't necessarily, we didn't set an intention and pray for that, but a change happens, and it's a change for the good, and we're surprised that it still takes adjustment, because this is a good thing. Why are you so, no, well, it's a good thing, but I don't know how to do that yet. I don't know how to live in this yet.
Yes, I don't know. And I'm trusting that I'll get there and get there in a fairly timely manner. But if I don't, then there's something else. I think
about a friend of mine that gone through a series of really, destructive relationships, just people that did not treat her well at all. And our prayer for her and her prayer for herself was to find the person who appreciated the amazing human being that she is. And she married him at my house, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
When she was probably in her early 30s, I'm thinking. So she didn't marry as a kid. She waited a while, and he's just wonderful, And she loved him so much, and he loves her so much. They've been married over 20 years now. But so I remember her calling me, though, within the first couple of months. She said, the thing I didn't realize, he's so wonderful, and I love him so much. But do you know, he's always here. I come home, here he is. I get up in the morning, here he is. He's always here.
Well, looky there. Surprise,
Oh.
surprise, right?
Well, that's what it looks like.
Like, right? I want to get married to the love of my life. And here he is every
But I didn't know he
week.
was going to be here all the time.
When we were dating, he would go home sometimes. You know, I would leave.
Oh my God. I remember telling my last husband,
I just laughed at that so hard, but isn't that a metaphor for what we do all the time?
it really is. It just absolutely is. And I remember telling my last husband, I think we would work out a lot better if we lived in different places. Like he looked at me like I was crazy. I was actually serious. And he thought I was crazy. I think we get along so much better if we just didn't live together.
Well, but it's that thing of, you know what you want, but you don't know all the stuff it comes with.
Exactly.
That
exactly.
thing. And then it was like, oh, that thing has things tied to it.
Yes. That's about, when prayers are answered.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I asked for. It is. Thank you. Thank you, God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
I think
I'm learning,
perhaps
I'm
that
growing.
when we do have a prayer that we've put out there, I probably expect that there's going to be a growth opportunity
Oh, yeah.
for me, always in that, because usually it's more than I specifically asked for.
Yes.
And
greater
I
than what
think
you
that's
think.
a good thing. That when
It's a good
and
thing.
I think the universe is like that. That when we ask for something, there is perhaps it's answering more than one prayer that we've had. And I think ministry was that for me. I mean, yes, there were challenges I was not prepared for, but there were also gifts that I was not prepared for as well.
Well,
And
that's
so there are days where something happened and absolutely stopped me in my tracks, and I thought, oh my gosh, and you got goosebumps all over you, and you're in a moment, you think, I didn't know that this prayer that I either forgot about or hadn't really put out there, or thought I hadn't put out there. And I think the universe, God, spirit, consciousness is aware of all of those things. None of those things go away, even if they have escaped our consciousness,
Yeah.
our top of mind thought.
Yeah.
And that it may have been something we truly, truly want, and something we asked for years ago, and yet here it is presenting itself now.
Yes. Yes.
So I think the answers are always exponentially better than what we've asked for.
Yes.
And maybe that's all, I don't know, maybe that's only because I expect that. And I think I do believe the universe is like that, but maybe if you don't expect that that's how life goes, that's not what your experience is.
Yeah. If you don't want a growth opportunity, then you better not pray for anything.
I mean, it's so true.
Right. Yes.
It's so true. And we just, when you came on earlier, Kim, we were asking you, how's the class going? And this is something you definitely want to do. You're loving the class and all of that, but it's a lot. You are being stretched and pulled, and gonna love it when it's finished. And, loving, I'm sure, while you're going through it, but still, just a lot going on.
Yeah, it is far more than I bargained for. Yeah.
And yet you're up to the task, and God knows that. God knew what it was. You didn't, but God knew it. He wouldn't let you step into it. Would have said it was okay. When you even had this feeling, this joy that this is where I'm supposed to be, you knew when you went in. Then when you got there, it's like, am I supposed to be here?
That was probably the first 10 weeks of class. Wow. What am I doing?
In the right place? What's going on here?
What am I doing in here? Yeah.
And the gifts that it's brought is not just the gift of the class and all that you're getting out of that, but like you were saying earlier, learning to delegate, to relax your expectations, to relax your expectations on yourself, to know and to know, this is important to me, and I may not be able to do everything I've been doing and this. So someone's got to give. That is a learning experience that's really, really important as well. Is when we get to that point where we go, wait a minute, I got to prioritize here. What's my real priority? And what am I willing to let go of? What am I willing to go? I don't need that anymore, or maybe somebody else can do that or needs that, or this is something I can set down and pick up again later, but I don't run it right now. All of those kinds of choices. And there's something to be learned from each one of those as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and because I can totally, I don't have a problem admitting that I was very intimidated by others in the class. It's one thing to teach a class where you're the teacher and everybody else is a student, but here I am amongst 20 some other people who are teachers, who are ministers, who have advanced degrees. And in the beginning, I'm thinking, how do I stand with these people?
Right.
Why I'm not the same as they are. I'm not as good as they are. And so part of my journey and part of the gift was I had to embrace the fullness of who I am as a minister, and then learned to accept myself as who I am as a minister and be confident in that amongst my peers, and they truly are my peers.
Yes.
And that I do have a gift also to share as one of the participants in this class. And that took me several weeks to really get. I thought at the end of every class, at least for the first 5 weeks, that I was getting ready to get kicked out. And I was waiting for the email, and the teacher saying, "I'm sorry, I don't know why I let you in." I knew it was coming. I just knew it was coming. And finally my husband said, "Stop that. Stop that."
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, stop that. Yes, yes.
And
you are so bright
and
and capable. You're so bright and capable.
But yes, it's that was a growth
opportunity.
Really, a big growth spurt for me, a real learning curve to fully embrace who I am and what I bring to the table. I even have something to bring to the table, because I thought, I'm just going to be served.
And
not in a pretty way.
That's a good point, because always when we are thinking that we're not worthy of being served, that's backward thinking, because we're also depriving people of what we have to give, of what we have from us. And so that's a really important thing to remember, is that, this isn't just about what I'm going to get from this, but it's about what I'm going to give to it. And if I do a number in my head, which doesn't allow me to be fully present to get what I need to get, then I'm not going to be able to give what I'm here to give either. In other words, it's not all about me.
That's shocking.
It's all about me.
That's shocking.
When that
there are other people too.
It's just shocking. I can't. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Because just back to the thing that I was talking about earlier. Then it just always comes back to me. It's how I want to live, knowing that everyone I'm talking with is individualized expression of God. And so, so if I'm there, then they were sent there as well. Whatever there is, whatever it is I'm doing. If I'm whatever I've asked for, and whatever I'm running into, and whoever I'm running into, they're here to me as messengers to share with me whatever it is, where the lack may be, where the growth may be, wherever it is. And I'm constantly looking for the gift in that, because I know it's one there. And there's a teaching, there's a learning, there's a growing. Each of us having this part where we go back and forth, as you just said. I'm the server and being served. So we're both doing that all the time in whatever we're doing. So that it's just such a beautiful way in which Spirit shows up and confirms what we say we know. What we say we know. That we are all individualized expressions. So I'm just waiting for God to show up in that person, in the thing that person is doing, the God gift, whatever that may be, in what I'm doing. I know it's there.
To recognize that.
Yes, correct.
So,
yeah, exactly. And so that's, again, the growth part for me as I'm going on this journey. Because, you take all these classes and you've got the titles and you're the minister and you still don't know that much. You still.
Excuse me.
Pardon me. Pardon. I beg your pardon. Yeah, you still, you don't know that much, and just hearing things. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
You know what it's like? Every once I read a lot, and I like to quote sometimes when I read, and people go, "Oh my God, you just remember that quote. And it's like, yeah, but it was a 600-page book. That's all I remember. Don't give me too much credit.
Okay, so come on up.
I couldn't tell you what it said otherwise. You know, it's that there's always more. There's always so much more.
There is. It's just again, just the abundance of the universe. There's always more. So I guess for me, when prayers are answered, it's about relaxing into it. It's never going to be what you think. It's always going to be greater. It's never been less, and not even to what I've asked for. It's always been greater. There's been an additional, a bonus thing that come out of it, knowing more, being more, having more, whatever it is. And so just relaxing into the answer, because it doesn't come the way you think it's going to come, but you know within your heart it's great. And so just relaxing into it and keep moving forward through the answer, and you'll have much more than you asked for. So it's another learning thing that goes on as you're continuing to understand and have prayers answered, recognizing that they're always answered anyway.
And if you're not open to that, if we get, I think this is one of the places where people bog down in their prayers, is praying for I call it the prayer underneath the prayer. Okay. What is it that you really want?
Right. That's what you're saying. So what do you want?
Yeah. Do you want a job, or do you want to be able to make a living and have a feeling of security?
Right.
Do you want a relationship, or do you want to feel loved? Because you can get in a relationship and not feel loved. Exactly. You know, we focus on something, and it's always behooves us, I think, to look at what is underneath this. What is underneath this?
What's the real prayer?
Because God always answers the real prayer. If we think it's not answered, it's because we didn't answer it the way we thought, and we're so hooked onto a picture in our mind of what it needs to look like that we miss the real deal. I call it like missing the limousine to take you to the airport to Hawaii because you're so busy trying to get on the bus to Galveston. Right? It's like, yeah, you get to go to the beach, but you don't get to decide which beach and how and when. Just relax a little bit and pay attention, and you may find that things are much better than you would have. I've always found that when I decide what it needs to be, I sell myself short
all the time.
God's plan for me is always bigger, always bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good place to take a break.
I think so. I think so. Beautiful thoughts. Thank you, guys.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hey, back again.
We're back.
Do you feel like there's ever been a time when prayer wasn't answered?
I talk about this a lot with my people, because on the surface, it can seem like that. It absolutely can. But looking back and going, oh, actually, when you identify what was the real prayer there, what was it that I really wanted? And I think, like I say, we sell ourselves short. We decide this is what I want, and maybe we do, or maybe we don't get exactly that thing. But if we allow our true heart's desire to come, it always will. It always will. And that doesn't mean I think the deal is this. We don't always get our way. We always get our prayer answered, but we don't always get our way. You know, ego's way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that, because even if you're praying for like a life partner, there may not be, Prince Charming at the door, the next time you open it. But I think perhaps it might be opportunities for us to grow personally that attracts in your ideal partner, that maybe there's some work that we have to do first.
Yes.
And that itself is a gift. And then the partner appears as we grow. And
Yes.
so the answer isn't always what we think it is. Now, I think that's what you were saying, Melinda. But it is an answer.
Yes.
And it is the answer to the true request. Because really, when we're looking for a partner, really what we're looking for is something that aligns with truly who we are.
Yes.
The person always shows up that aligns with who we
don't know
truly
who we
are.
are.
We just may not like who we truly are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's the rub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had that problem. I had that problem early on. And then I knew I needed to sit, and the gift truly was for me to step up into the kind of woman that I truly wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then I had looked around, and there he was.
Yeah.
But I had to shift first. I had to shift. And that was a gift, because now I know that even if something were to happen to that relationship, I'm good.
Right. Right.
I'm good.
Because
Even if that's not as permanent as I would like it to be, I'm good. Because I've had personal growth. And that means I don't need somebody to fill a void that I'm feeling in me.
yeah.
And if the answer to the prayer is a way, that an opportunity for us to grow into what will attract whatever it is we're praying for, we always have the choice to say no. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I'm still looking for the easy way out. You know, people get married 5, 6, 7 times and never look at the common denominator. I'm not trying to make a judgment on that, but
No, you're not. It's out of your judgment. It's just true.
We do go, maybe if it's not this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. You have to slow down sometime and say, maybe it's me. What is it that I'm reaching for out there that I can only find in here? Mm-hmm. And then when I find it in here, then what's out there that matches with what's in here is always going to be there. I had a friend that I used to say, honey, Mr. Right's never going to find you. He's too polite to interrupt you when you're with Mr. Wrong. You know, he has too much integrity to try to tear you away from Mr. Wrong. You have got to be able to create a void before the universe can fill it. And if you spend all your time taking whoever, then how is that ever going to lead you to the one that really is the person that you want to spend, you know, your life with, that's going to treat you well, that's going to know you and value you for you? If you're hanging around with the one who doesn't, you're not leaving space. And so I think in a lot of ways we feel like our prayers aren't answered, and we're not leaving space. We're just not making the space. And you've got to make the space for grace. I believe that God is always giving, and we don't always know how to receive. So the work is on our end. What do we need to do to receive?
Yeah. Yeah.
I preached there for a minute, girls. Sorry.
No.
Hazard.
It's not big. It's just a thought and an idea about God that is more that can't be captured in 1 or 2 or even 3 statements. It's a lot of ways of thinking. And when you think you know, then something else comes up and says, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So, you know, and so you're never going to, so we can tell you all the things that we've done, we've tried, that we know works, but that doesn't mean we know everything. That doesn't mean we know it all. We don't know half, a quarter of it. There's so much, so many ways in which spirit responds, whether we actually speak a prayer out, or whether it's just the longings of our heart. Either way, spirit is responding. And for me, you know, I'm doing some work now in classes that are asking me to vision for my life. You know, like, what is it you want it to look like, you know, 2, 3, 4 years out? And they want you to look at the different quadrants that they call of your life. And one of them is relationships. And I'm unwilling to look at a love relationship. I'm willing to look at relationship with friends. I'm looking at a relationship with my tribe. I'm willing to look at relationship with my family. But I have to look at a relationship with me. I feel like I abandoned myself in the last relationship, and I don't trust myself yet. And that's the conversation that I'm having, with spirit. And so it's not only about unanswered prayers, about or answered prayers, about unanswered prayer, unasked prayers. That doesn't mean because you're not asking that you're not praying.
Yeah.
Do you know
It
what
doesn't
I'm
mean you're
saying?
not gonna get it,
Say
whatever it
again?
is. It doesn't mean you're not going to get whatever it is, even if you're
It
not
doesn't mean that
aware of asking.
even if you're not aware, because whatever your heart desire, whatever your fears are, or whatever your longings are, spirit knows all of that too. So whether you speak the words out, and even if you don't, like we talked about, what's the prayer under the prayer? Well, we don't know it, but God did, right? We're saying the one thing, but God says, not what you're really asking for, girlfriend. I read you. I'm with you. It's you and me. And so, so whether I speak it out and can have the words for it or not, spirit knows where the growth needs to happen for you, so that you can be attractive to the thing that you need, the person, the thing, the whatever that you need, or that will complement the yin yang for you, or that'll complement where you're going next. So I get the point that I'm making for that is that we don't have to worry so much about whether we're praying right or whether we said the right words, or because that thing we said when we first started off, this is the thing that was said to me my whole life, and it just drove me crazy. And it's like, be careful what you ask for. Like you're just going to get something that's so horrible. Like God just going to, oh, you asked for that, and God just beat you right upside the head. And that's not how it works. Yeah, that's not how it works. You know,
On the surface, though, it could be. When I was young, I wanted a relationship so badly
right,
that I was willing to accept something that was not good for me in any way.
right.
And I wanted him. It wasn't just I wanted a relationship. I wanted him. I decided it was him. I was going to be him. I did everything I could to make it him. It happened. And I went, oh, crap. And that really was to be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you pray for. The prayer underneath the prayer is I wanted to be loved.
Yes.
And he was not capable of giving me that.
Right.
But I didn't see it. My prayer, my fervency for this is what I want, and I want it now, and I'm going to get it, made me blind. Now, you could also say, of course, the prayer was answered because I had to go through all that crap to realize that's not what I want.
Because of all the work that had to be done.
Yeah. And then to go on and know myself in a way that allowed me to attract somebody who loved me for me. I mean, I married somebody who didn't really like me, but somehow I thought he loved me.
And then when you talk about answered prayer, that's not someone that God told you to go towards. It's what you decided on.
It's not what I decided on.
It's what you decided on. It's
but
not.
Please, God, please. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it's not. It's. I don't think you need to be. My point of this is, and I hear what you're saying, I really do, but I don't think you need to worry about it, because even when you said please, 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 and you got what you wanted, you still learned what you needed to know, and now you have what you need to have. And so I'm not going to beat myself up. I guess I'm encouraging people not to beat yourself up, because we know what we know. And we won't know what we need to know until we go through what we know, right? If that makes sense. Yeah. Like we know what we know, but we don't know what we need to know. So we do what we know to do until we go, oh, that's not working. Help me now.
Well, and I think we're kind of saying the same thing, which is if what shows up on the surface doesn't look like what you need, it's look beneath the surface, because it's going to get you there. It's going to get you there.
It will. And give yourself some grace, for just going ahead and going through it and finding out what you need to find out, and then recognizing and realizing, oh, okay, this is how it works with me. This is how spirit and I work together. Everybody has their own relationship, and some people get to it easier than others. And some people get to it easier in certain areas, and some people make it hard in that very same area. So we all are very different in how and what we're doing and what we're going through, what we understand, and what spirit needs to take us through before we come to another understanding. So it's all good. It's all good. There's no need to beat ourselves up. It really isn't. That's all.
So we got 5 minutes. How do we wrap this up? What's the bow look like?
I lost the comments. Do we have anybody on the comments?
No.
Okay.
I've been looking at them. They've been
Good.
answered.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. So what's the wrap up? I mean, I think the thing is, for me, when I said that, it doesn't always look like I absolutely am certain that all of my prayers have been answered and will be at the deepest level. But when I have someone come to me and say, well, I prayed for this and I got this other thing, and they don't necessarily want to hear, okay. And it is possible to say you want this thing and to keep saying no to what shows up. You have to eventually say yes to what shows up so that you can get to the next thing. I think we can block ourselves. We absolutely can. We have choice always. Now, I think long run, we'll block ourselves, and that block will get knocked off at some point if we persist.
We can decide. We can decide that we're tired of that. That's what it just happened for me. I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this. What? Yeah. Show me something new. Show me something different, guys. Wake me up. What's going on? And that's a prayer. I'm sick of this. Wake me up.
What's your salient point, Pjae?
I think that was it for me. Just that God is just benevolent and beautiful, on your side and all of that. So there's no need to worry about what you're praying for, whether you're praying the right prayer, got your mouth set right, or saying the right words, or anything like that. All your prayers are going to be answered. They just you just have, maybe that didn't recognize it, maybe it didn't come the way you thought it was going to come, but all your prayers are always answered. That you can rest assured, and you don't need to beat yourself up because you didn't quite understand it the first time around. So what? Just keep going. Just keep that relationship and learn how you and God work together. That's my point.
Awesome.
I think mine is, Melinda, you and I talked about this maybe last week, that it's either good or it's good for me.
Yeah.
And which is all good. It's all good. And so I try to walk into everything with that it's all good. And I can work with this, and I have everything I need to work with it.
Beautiful. Because you wouldn't be there if you didn't.
Yeah.
That's
right. You wouldn't be there if you didn't.
Yeah.
Correct. I agree with all of you.
You go, okay, God, apparently this is for my good. But
and you seem to think I'm going to figure this out. So
you have to help me here.
Help me.
Not what I was picturing when I asked. No, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I say, thank you.
Thank you. Is this really?
Okay.
Is this the right prayer? Did I walk into someone else's?
What's happening?
Alrighty then, here we go. Yeah. Alrighty. Yes.
Exactly. Yep.
It's good to have you back, Pjae. We missed you.
It is great to be back. I really missed you guys so much. I don't like missing this. This is a beautiful time together. So thank you guys for carrying on. And I'll be gone, a couple times in April as well, because I'll be in Thailand.
So we tell people to what? Pray on and open your arms wide, right?
That's it.
Open your arms wide.
Open your arms wide.
Yeah.
The only place you need to get is out of your own way.
That's it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
that's all that's necessary.
And
Scene.
I love you guys.
I love you too.
We'll see everybody next week.
See you next
week. Yeah, we will. Thank you guys so much.